What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with TechDaily. So it's no secret that over the last 2 or 3 years, most new smartphones have been kind of boring. Sure, we've seen some innovation, but the design and form factor and look and feel and even most of the features of the average smartphone have all remained relatively unchanged. The exception in the world of boring cut and paste smartphones is a device like Samsung's Z Fold 2. It's been out for about 9 months now. It's the more successful and more reliable version of their first ambitious foldable phone. And while this device is definitely not for everyone, I believe the Z Fold 2 marks the potential beginning of a new category of devices that will have a place in the future of smartphones, and I think this phone should also serve as an inspiration for some other OEMs to actually make something different and unique. While I personally was not an early adopter of the folding phone, having had the Z Fold 2 now for a while, I'm a bit more convinced that something like this is useful. It's fun, it has a lot of practical application, it still wows just about everyone who sees it, and even though not every aspect of the Z Fold 2 is positive, I think there's still a ton to appreciate here. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my experience with this phone, both the good and some of the bad. I'll outline how I make the most of its unique foldable form factor, and I also want to go over what I'd like to see out of the next generation of Samsung foldables, because I think there's a lot of potential here for Samsung to improve and to really make something great. Now, to start off, the Z Fold 2 I consider to be really a combination of two devices. You have the outer front display, a tall and skinny but really pretty useful sort of first point of contact with the device, something that I ended up using a lot more than I thought I would. And then of course you also have the massive foldable inner display that nearly transforms this thing into a full-fledged tablet. The combination of these two screens allows for multiple different kinds of interactions with your apps. Responding to messages or typing out notes is a different experience both ways. Watching videos, playing games, scrolling through social media. The Z Fold 2 is one of the few devices that truly allows you to choose how you'd like to tap, touch, and swipe your way through an app, and that stems from these two very different screen setups. When the phone is folded, the outer screen is your basic Android or Samsung smartphone setup. There's no limitations, and the only thing you have to get used to is that aspect ratio, a super stretched 25:9 setup. But I think the front display almost has to be a little skinnier in order for the device as a whole to still be relatively comfortable and usable in your hand. The rest of the device, consisting of the folded body, the hinge, the frame, that makes everything twice as thick as your normal smartphone. And because of all that thickness, it only makes sense to have a skinnier front screen to help your thumb reach where it needs to. Now, the thickness of the Z Fold 2, that did take some getting used to. It's chunky, it's bulky, but it's not without reason. There's another whole display hidden in there, a whole world of new possibilities, and having its resting position be thicker than average has been a fine trade-off in my opinion. And just as a side note, the Z Fold 2, I think, is still one of the more premium devices in Samsung's lineup. At its price, it very well should be, but with metal all around, no plastic, a glass back, shiny polished accents, this is a good looking device from top to bottom and something that feels better in the hand than the matte plastic Samsung has been more keen on producing recently. Alright, so let's get into the foldable aspect of the Z Fold 2. And to start, I think right away you have to at least acknowledge and appreciate the technological achievement of something like this. The Z Fold 2 seamlessly opens up into a massive sort of half smartphone, half tablet device with no break, no gap, no real divide between either side of the large display. Opening and closing the Z Fold 2 is both fluid and still sturdy, and the newly redesigned hinge has resulted in no issues for me personally. It's something that I know I'm still impressed by, and that other people who have seen me with this phone really enjoy seeing too, but I also know that there have been some critiques about the actual hardware here, so let me address those things too. While the large foldable display is one seamless panel, there is a noticeable crease right down the middle, something you'll see and feel with your finger when the fold is opened all the way up. Depending on what it is you're doing, the crease does get less noticeable, and the longer you use the Fold 2, the more you grow to ignore it. While it was a bit of an eyesore when I first started using the phone, I found that over time, I sort of stopped seeing it. And realistically, I just don't think this is something where Samsung could make the crease disappear anyway. Any sort of folded anything that's made of a single continuous piece is gonna have a bend, a crease, a mark, something that's the product of it being folded. And to me, this is a point of controversy that I think is a bit unfair on a device like this. The actual display itself is also a unique kind of material when you consider most touchscreens of today. It's Samsung's own ultra-thin glass that's covered in a pre-installed rubbery plastic-like screen protector. Now, this material combination is an improvement over the unfortunate outcome of the original Z Fold, but I think the feel of the inner display might catch some people off guard. It doesn't necessarily feel as thick, as sturdy, or as premium as a standard glass touchscreen, but that's okay because functionality-wise, it's all the same. And durability-wise, like I said, I think the improvements were a success. I personally haven't had any issues with scratches or marks on the display of my Z Fold 2, and the more I've used this phone, the more confident I've been in the build. However, I know this device, being so new and so unique, has resulted in maybe more issues than average for some people. Fortunately, Samsung continues to offer the very unique support outlet for Z Fold owners in order to help repair or solve any kinds of issues. And that, I think, is a great benefit when you consider not only the price of this device, but also the technology and the risk some people take in being early users of something like this. All in all, I personally haven't found that much I'd like to see done differently with the overall hardware on the Z Fold 2. I think the whole setup is solid. The size and form factor are probably about as good as it gets right now, given the limitations in technology. In future iterations, I think having a thinner folded device with a wider, more normal dimension front screen could make sense, but overall, I still found the Z Fold 2 as it is to be a workable and sturdy setup for me. Now, in actually using the Z Fold 2 in my day-to-day life, like I said, it's really a tale of two setups for me. The outer display is sort of my go-to setup for quickly answering text messages, casually browsing social media, checking in on something important. It's more for my on-the-go notifications and interactions, and that's primarily how I use the outer display. When it's time to settle in and really consume content, like movies, TV shows, YouTube videos, or even dive a little deeper into my social media outlets, that's where the larger display comes into play. And in my experience, using a lot of these apps on a display like this without having to drag out a second device like a tablet has been a really great experience. With that being said, not every app is optimized to seamlessly transition from the outer display to the larger inner display. Instagram, for example, needs to be relaunched depending on which screen it was last opened with, and using it with a bigger foldable display is not very nice. But most other apps have no issues. And particularly with YouTube, for example, and a ton of my favorite games, this Z Fold 2 offers a really unique kind of experience. Now, in general, there's nothing particularly new or specific with what you see using the Z Fold 2. You'll get a lot more presented to you on the big display, obviously, which is nice, but nothing that's really Z Fold specific. In general, though, having more screen real estate is almost always better than not having it. I think the biggest challenge with something like the Z Fold 2 is just that the inner display is also sort of a unique aspect ratio. So videos will always have black bars surrounding them unless you want to zoom into almost a 4:3 setup, it feels like, which is a little weird. Also, typing on the big open screen for me meant switching out of the split keyboard setup that's offered by default and just utilizing the full-size standard keyboard. I couldn't get used to having that gap in the middle because my thumbs crisscross all over the place. It's not a big deal, something you can change of course, but I wanted to mention it. Also, another benefit to a screen size like this is doing multiple things at once. You can have 2 or 3 apps loaded up and running side by side on the Fold 2 and interact with each of them on their own. Watch a video, browse the web, type up a note, answer an email, whatever combination of stuff you want to do, you can probably do it. And instead of having this sort of half-size app on a half-size phone like on a normal Android device, you've just got a bit more space to work work with. Now, I think if there's one thing I wish the Z Fold 2 did, it would be to offer S Pen support. On a device this size, pairing up a stylus or an S Pen would probably be icing on the cake. The final sort of pro feature or power user option to give you everything and then some. And I could see a ton of people choosing one Z Fold 2 versus having a smartphone and a Galaxy Tab. I also think this makes more sense than the S21 Ultra having an S Pen too. And really, that I think is the whole idea with the Z Fold 2 right now. It's the concept of having sort of two devices, a tablet-like device with a big screen with lots of potential use cases, paired up with still your average, easy-to-manage smartphone size setup on the outside. I can absolutely see the potential here, and beyond the initial wow factor of folding and unfolding something that shouldn't ever be able to bend, this is a device that offers a lot more than the average smartphone. Really, all Samsung needs to do now is cut the price for one. $1,800 for this thing is just way too much, but I think that will happen in due time. Prices seem to always come down, but also just add a little more extra. An S Pen or a stylus port would be nice. Maybe some additional software-specific features and add-ons for enhanced productivity, multitasking, multi-app use, stuff like that. Just a little more to fully utilize that big screen and make the software experience Z Fold specific. Samsung, honestly, I think is right on the cusp of something like this becoming mainstream, and I think the next 1 or 2 iterations of folding devices from them will probably be the ones to finally reach the masses. So there you go, those are my thoughts on the Z Fold 2. What do you guys think of this phone? Have you tried one out yet? Do you like it? If you own one, I'd love to know your own experience with it too. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Be sure to follow TechDaily on Twitter and subscribe to the TechDaily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.